A life-changing moment in school in my life. I was in my introduction to communication class, and our assignment this time was to present two different speeches, one being the formal speech and the other being an informal speech. The informal speech would take place before the formal one. The informal speech was based on a situation when you first learned something. I told a story about how I learned how lying can have bigger consequences than intended. I was in the third grade and it was math time, and I already knew my multiplication table, so my attention span began to get short on what our teacher was saying. I began to look around the room and my eyes landed on my friend's pencil box when I noticed it was sneaking in my favorite candy in her mouth, the yummy Jolly Rancher. I let my chair close to hers and I whispered, "Can I have one?" She said, "Yes, but be sneaky when putting it into your mouth." I said, "Okay," and I began to slip a thick cylinder into my mouth. And before I could pop it all the way in, my teacher asked, "Candace, what is 3 times 12?" I immediately gasped for air, lunging the deep cylinder of the Jolly Rancher into my throat. "Candace, are you okay?" she said as she grabbed me. We began to run out the room and rush towards the office. Eventually, I ended up swallowing the rock hard Jolly Rancher. My teacher asked, "Candace, did you choke on candy today?" I said, "No." I gasped for air a little too hard and I slipped a drink of water. I knew that she knew I was lying, and she said, "It's okay," and I returned to the classroom. Meanwhile, in the classroom, the girl who gave me the candy said that I choked on the candy that she gave me. The conclusion to this story is that my parents were called and I had to write "I will not lie" 1,000 times. This speech was easy because it was based on something I actually went through. The formal speech would be the one where I have to do a research on a specific topic and present it to the class. On the day of my informal speech, I was all prepared and ready with note cards in hand and waiting once again to the last minute because that's what I typically do with speeches. I walked to class with a friend when she said that we only could use 3 note cards. I had 20. I immediately began to panic. I was going second and relied solely on my note cards. Within the first 30 seconds of my speech, I had a breakdown, crying, and stormed into my chair of embarrassment, ready to storm out. My teacher stopped me and gave me a second chance on a new day. I realized that I can't be so confident and I can't procrastinate to the last minute. And also, second chances can be more than just chances. It can change a person's whole outlook on what they did wrong in that moment in life. I would like to thank you for listening to my story.